This is Valley News Live at noon.
We're following breaking news on the abortion fight in North Dakota. A judge is now reviewing whether or not that trigger ban can go into effect tomorrow. That trigger ban will essentially make abortion illegal in the state. The Red River Women's Clinic sued, saying the ban goes against the state constitution. The state says that's not true. A judge is now working the case and says he will issue a ruling by sometime tomorrow. We want to get a check of our forecast out there right now. That live look here in the metro. Skies have cleared up from what they were earlier today, but will we see them cloud up and rain again? Well, let's head on over to meteorologist Lisa Green for that check. Good afternoon, Lisa.
Good afternoon. We're looking at a similar setup to yesterday, and that, we are kind of in a relative break in a lot of spots from the rain, but we will see more of those afternoon storms pop up. And in a couple of cases, we're already seeing that happen. Look at Grand Forks County over the last hour or so. You can see nothing there, and now we're starting to see one little cell there in that northwestern corner of the county. Southern Valley, still a lot of cloud cover going on here, and we do have some showers over by Lemoore, stretching down into northwestern parts of Sargent County and back over into Minnesota. You can see down by Wheaton we have a shower, a few sprinkles as well into Lakes Country. Just some clouds and a few breaks in there where we're getting some sun shining through in other places too. But this has made a big difference on temperatures. We've had a lot of sunshine up north, and so we've got places approaching 80 degrees. Check out Baudette, 79 right now, whereas in the south it's been more cloudy. We've had the rain lasting longer in the south, and so Oaks is 66 degrees, and we're at 69 in Fargo. So temperatures ranging depending on where you are, a little bit cooler here in the south. Here's a look at our planner. Expect to have some clouds and some sun in there too here as we head into the afternoon, but that will help to pop up, stir up some thunderstorms here as we go through the day, and we'll see that chance for a passing thunderstorm as we make our way into, I would say, the afternoon and even into the early evening before things start tapering off for tonight. So the potential is there for collecting more rain, and we're going to talk about how much rain we've seen, how much more we may expect to get, and of course an important look at that weekend forecast coming up in just a couple of minutes.
Yeah, everyone's waiting to get out of work here in a couple of hours. So Lisa, thank you. New for you at noon, a North Dakota family finally has some closure 78 years after a soldier never returned home from war. Authorities are just now identifying the previously unknown remains as then 27-year-old Robert Alexander. Alexander was from Tolly, North Dakota before he was sent to Saipan for World War II. Authorities say he was killed in a Japanese attack in 1944 and declared non-recoverable in 1949. Through DNA testing, they were finally able to identify his remains this summer. He will soon be buried at Arlington National Cemetery. The public could be closer to learning more about what led to the FBI's search of former President Donald Trump's Florida home. Natalie Brand explains how a Florida judge has signaled that he could unseal portions of the affidavit, and that could contain details of what prompted the search.
The Department of Justice has less than a week to submit proposed redactions of the affidavit used to authorize the search of former President Trump's Florida home.
It explains the scope and breadth of that application, or that investigation, and it has a number of confidential informants and witnesses whose ongoing participation may be jeopardized by the disclosure.
Deanna Schulman represents one of the many media organizations, including CBS News, which petitioned the court to unseal the document.
It is up to the public to determine what is meaningful in this investigation.
The Department of Justice argues the affidavit should remain fully sealed to protect the integrity of the ongoing investigation with national security implications.
The DOJ investigation is examining the former president's handling of records after he left the White House, which included top secret and classified documents.
I think the stakes could not be higher. When the DOJ says this is an open investigation at its earliest stage.
Former federal prosecutor Scott Frederickson says that's why he's surprised the Florida judge is willing to unseal even portions of the affidavit.
I think we can look forward to discovering a few more tantalizing details and context. For the most part, we're not going to see the core of what we're all very interested in.
Newly unsealed court documents indicate possible crimes under investigation could be willful retention of national defense information, concealment or removal of government records, and obstruction of federal investigation. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, the White House.
The full unredacted affidavit will eventually be released when the investigation ends, whether charges are ever filed or not. The bus driver shortage is now hitting city buses. Matt Bus says because of the continued driver shortage, they will be reducing the amount of time they spend on certain routes. Now, those most impacted are routes 11, 13, 14, 15, and the NDSU TAP ride. This means starting on Monday, these routes will be reduced to hourly service. Matt Bus says these changes will be in effect until further notice, but they're expected to last at least through January of next year. Drivers on Cheyenne and West Fargo will have to look out for some construction next week. Work will start on I-94 from the interchange near Mapleton all the way to the Cheyenne interchange. The project includes the installation of guardrails and ramp connections. The interstate will have one lane closed for the project. Speed limits will go down to 40 in that work zone. Now, it should be done by about mid-October. Later here at noon, how the Tiger King Netflix craze turned into an animal rescue in Minnesota. But next, we are tracking that rain today. Lisa Green has your Friday and weekend forecast.